What's going on, guys? Victor here with a brand new video today, going over something that's kind of important for long-term growth, and that is finding your own unique voice. I see this quite a bit, and it's mainly through people that are a little bit newer into the social media world, or even if they're not new to the social media world and have been in it quite a while. And that's really developing their own voice, their own image through their brand. And it's kind of tough. It really is finding your own unique way to stand out, especially through all the noise that you see through social media, whether that's on Instagram, YouTube, wherever it might be. So with that, this tracks back to one very important thing that people tend to forget about, especially scrolling through social media, and that is envy. A very big topic, envy. It's one of the 7 deadly sins. I know it's very hard-hitting, but envy is one of the biggest issues and borders that a lot of people run into actually when developing their own personal brand or their own image or their own voice. And the reason for that being is because they're too busy paying attention and watching what other people are doing through social media rather than worrying about themselves. And so with that, along with almost not only envying people, you're also copying them. You also want to be like them. And so being human, it's natural. I've had this problem many a times before where you see someone that you look up to, an idol almost, on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, crushing the game, doing things that you're wanting to potentially do. And so with that, with watching what they're doing, you're also mimicking what they're doing. You sound like them, you're beginning to talk like them, you're beginning to teach like them. You're doing these small things, you're instilling these small habits into yourself that are ultimately negatively affecting you, okay? And this becomes a big issue because you see yourself staring at them. There's a quote: envy is the art of counting the other fellows' blessings instead of your own. So you're watching other people win. You're watching them pretty much reach whatever goals that they're wanting to reach, or do whatever they're wanting to do within their lives. And instead of actually focusing on yourself, you're focusing on them, which is ultimately hurting you. It's hurting you. You're staying in place by doing that, by comparing yourself to other people. And so before you can even begin forming this brand that you want to create, this image, this voice, you have to really understand and really be aware of if you're copying off of other people or not. And it's different being inspired by other people's work and watching other people's work, rooting them on. That's completely different. But being inspired by other people's work, that's completely fine. That's normal. But you have to take everything with a grain of salt, because if not, you're going to see yourself completely copying them, and then so on and so forth, and you'll eventually end up creating content or even pushing out content that's super similar to someone else's. And with that, if you're copying their message and everything else like that, you're not standing out in your own way. That's what made them big, and that was their way of blowing up or seeing any exposure. So you have to find your own. With that, now that you've pretty much figured out, and if you do see yourself doing that, what I do, I go on mass unfollowing sprees. These are things that I have to do for myself because I do sometimes see myself getting caught up. And the better, your brain is trainable, okay? So you're not stuck this way, the way you're thinking of looking up to people or being envious, things like that. You can train your brain. And so with that training, what I do, through whether Instagram, Snapchat, whatever it is, social platforms, if people aren't bringing any real utility to my life, or they're not close friends that I actually care about and want to see succeed, they're not people. They're not people on my Instagram. They're not people on my Snapchat. They're not people that I watch. So keep that in mind. Moving on, before I go any deeper into that. Okay, second thing. So what are some of your key characteristics? These are things that you really need to hone it down onto. So when creating your image, when creating your voice, one of the main things you really need to focus on is some key characteristics, things people have maybe complimented about you when you were growing up. Maybe you're super witty or super technical. Understanding and honing down onto those things that you're naturally talented at are going to help you find and define yourself a lot faster than searching for it elsewhere, And so with that being said, try things that you're already good at. Try speaking. If you're already high energy, Be high energy in your videos. Be high energy with your posts. Be really optimistic. These are things that people are gonna be attracted to. Same thing with technical, or being very technical, or being professional. And by focusing on those things, you're able to really find and define your brand a lot easier. So understand those key characteristics, because once you figure those out, it's gonna be a lot easier for you to form and mold your brand. All that being said, don't overcomplicate it. It's really that simple. Just be yourself and everything else will work out. This is Victor signing off. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe if you liked it and you want more. Guys, I will see you